in the vast grasslands of Greenfield Valley, where the sun kissed the earth and the rivers flowed endlessly, a young calf named Mobo took his first shaky steps into the world. His mother, a gentle and wise cow named Mala, nuzzled him warmly. "Welcome to the world, my little one," she said softly. Mobo blinked his large, innocent eyes, unaware that being born a cow was both a blessing and a curse. As the days passed, he would come to understand the harsh realities of his existence, realities that made life as a cow far from easy. This is Mobo's story, an account of why, despite their calm nature and gentle hearts, it truly sucks to be born as a cow. From the moment Mobo was born, he realized that cows were seen as nothing more than tools for humans. Unlike the wild animals that roamed freely, like the deer that sprinted through the fields or the birds that soared in the sky, cows were confined to fenced pastures, their lives dictated by humans. Mobo watched as his mother and the other cows were herded each morning, prodded along by humans who spoke in loud, commanding voices. They were expected to move, eat, and live according to schedules they didn't choose. One day, Mobo asked his mother, "Why don't we ever leave the farm?" Mala sighed. "Because, my dear, we belong to the humans. They provide us with food and shelter, but in return, we lose our freedom." Mobo frowned. He had seen the horses being ridden by humans, the dogs playing happily in the farmyard, but cows? They were only called upon when humans needed something from them. As Mobo grew older, he noticed something strange. Every morning, humans came and took his mother away. When she returned, she looked tired, her body aching. "Where do they take you, Mama?" Mobo asked one evening. Mala hesitated before answering. "They take my milk, my child. The milk that was meant for you and other calves like you." Mobo was confused. "But, if it's for us, why do they take it?" Mala nuzzled him sadly. "Because humans want it for themselves. They believe it belongs to them more than it belongs to us." Mobo soon realized that his mother wasn't alone. Every cow in the herd had the same fate. They were milked daily, their bodies treated like machines. If a cow couldn't produce enough milk, she was sent away where, Mobo didn't know. But the older cows whispered about a place no cow ever returned from. One day, an older bull named Bantu told Mobo about the world beyond Greenfield Valley. "In some places," Bantu explained, "cows are worshipped, treated like gods." Mobo's eyes widened. "Really? That doesn't sound so bad." Bantu sighed. "But in other places, cows are just food. Some of us are raised only to be eaten." Mobo shivered. He had never thought about where the missing cows went. Now, he understood why no one ever returned from the place the elders whispered about. "That's not fair," Mobo muttered. "Why are we either worshipped or eaten?" "Because we are useful," Banta said. "Humans see us as something to serve their needs, nothing more." Mobo felt a strange sadness in his heart. Whether treated as sacred or as food, cows never truly belonged to themselves. One morning, O woke to terrified moos echoing through the farm. He rushed to see what was happening, and found a group of young cows held tightly by humans. Then, he saw a red-hot iron rod with strange symbols at its tip. As the humans pressed it against the skin of the cows, they screamed in pain. Smoke sizzled from their flesh, leaving behind a permanent mark. Mobo's heart pounded. "What are they doing?" Bantu lowered his head. "Branding. It's how they mark us, so they always know who we belong to." Mobo trembled. When it was his turn, he felt a searing pain like no other. The smell of burnt hair and flesh filled his nostrils, and the sting lasted for days. From that moment on, Mobo understood his body was not his own. He was property. As Mobo grew, he noticed a terrible pattern. Every time a new calf was born, they spent only a short time with their mother before being taken away. Mobo had always stayed close to his mother, but one morning, humans came for him too. "No, please, no," Mala cried, trying to push against the humans, but they were stronger. Mobo struggled, his heart pounding in terror as he was dragged away. He looked back at his mother, who was forced to stay behind. Mobo soon found himself in a different part of the farm, surrounded by other young bulls like him. Some were frightened, others resigned. They all knew the truth. This was the beginning of the end. Mobo soon realized that his fate had already been determined. Bulls like him weren't useful for milk, and most weren't needed for breeding. That meant only one thing: one day, he would be sent to the place. He watched as, one by one, his friends were loaded onto large trucks. They never came back. Mobo's turn would come soon, he knew it. He could feel it in his bones. One night, as he lay awake, staring at the stars, he wondered, what was the point of it all? Cows gave humans milk, plowed their fields, and even carried their burdens. And in the end, when their usefulness was gone, they were cast aside. It was a cruel life, a life of servitude. Mobo sighed. It really sucks to be born a cow. But then, one day, something unexpected happened. A fierce storm swept through Greenfield Valley, breaking down fences and opening the gates. Mobo saw his chance. He ran, pushing through the chaos, dodging humans, and sprinting toward the wilderness. For the first time, Mobo felt the wind rush against his face without restriction. He wasn't being herded, commanded, or controlled. He didn't know what lay ahead, but he knew one thing: he was free. Even if the world was dangerous, even if he had to fight for survival, he would rather take that chance than live a life where he didn't belong to himself. And so, disappeared into the night, leaving behind the life that had been chosen for him. Maybe, just maybe, there was a place where a cow could be free. To outsiders, cows might seem peaceful and carefree, spending their days grazing in green pastures. But behind those gentle eyes is a life of hardship, control, and inevitable fate. For Mobo, and many like him, being born a cow isn't a blessing, it's a curse. But even in the darkest stories, there is always a sliver of hope. Because somewhere out there, in the vast world beyond the farms, perhaps there is a place where cows can finally live, not as property, but as themselves.